I'm not making any money. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use. Fair use. Yeah, so this is the Sun US the US Sun. This is news, world news. Says critical intel: Russia helps Iran blow up critical U.S. $5 million U.S. air defense protecting Gulf from suicide drones as 7 Americans unalived. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kahaloyim Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachahak I'd like to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigner, phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To you sisters, your chawatium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson. And yeah, it goes on, right? It says Russia is revealing the position of critical U.S. radars to Iran using satellite intelligence, sources say. So this is coming from a so-called source, right? And in war, you want to have reliable sources, right? In war, Tehran's intel missiles salvos were largely directed at disabling the $5 million U.S. THAAD air defense system in the Middle East. Hey, I mean, they're doing a good job, huh? Right? Right here, send us a satellite image, shows debris around a THAAD, right? Ra- radar system. The Muwafaq Muwafaq Salty or whatever air base in Jordan on March 2nd. They deaded it, huh? Destroyed it. So that means but they're saying that Russia had to give them the intel, the information. But they kind of live in that area though too, like, you know what I mean? And I guess that's the THAAD interceptor seen in action. Stock picture. Okay, yeah. So that's basically that's that THAAD getting thrashed, right? You know. So the systems are uniquely designed to intercept ballistic missiles that fall from space at hypersonic speeds on programmed targets, right? So that's in the Jordan. So that's really what, to protect Israel, because the Jordan is right by Israel. So that's what you're saying that's meant to be for. So you're mad that you're not able to protect Israel, or maybe Israel's mad because you're not able to protect Israel. So now you're saying that you're trying to blame it on Russia, but how do you say?
Kremlin.
Oh, Kremlin. That's how you say it. Kremlin has quickly been leaking. Oh, critical satellite surveillance with Iran. Sources say allowing the rogue nation, right? That's what, to unleash blasting blasters directly on the positions, right? So you're saying, yeah, it's because of Russia. They're able to hit the exact position, but then your thing is supposed to be defending it. It should be able to shoot it out the sky, right? Like, you can't touch me. What happened to that? You're supposed to be the best military, and sound like you're crying. Best military in the world is crying. Yeah, this is Reuters, and it says Russia told Trump it isn't sharing U.S. military assets information with Iran. Waf fault what Witkoff or Witkoff, yeah, Witkoff, right? Says this guy, a Russian guy, Witkoff, said to them, "Hey, we ain't sharing none." So that means you're just getting your ass whooped. That's what that is, right? You're supposed to be the superior military, and you basically you're getting your ass handed to you. So Russia has, Washington, March 10th, Reuters. Russia has denied sharing intelligence with Iran on U.S. military assets in the Middle East. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff said on Tuesday in a CNBC interview. So they say they ain't did it, man. They ain't did no stuff like that. They ain't sharing their information, right? So you just basically getting your ass handed to you through somebody who's supposed to be not significant, right? Compared to your grand military.
Envoy.
How do you say it?
Envoy.
Envoy, okay. Special envoy, okay. U.S. Special Envoy. I understand. Steve Witkoff said on Tuesday. So basically, yeah, you're getting your ass handed to you. All right. Yeah. So this is Proverbs chapter 20, verse 18. It says, "Every purpose is established by counsel." So basically, Trump, you started this war. And obviously you didn't have the right counsel, right? With good advice, make war. See, if you'd have had good advice, then you make war. But obviously you didn't have good advice, right? He that goeth about as a talebearer, which that's what you're trying to accuse Russia of being a talebearer, right? Revealeth secrets. So you saying Russia revealing the secrets of your locations, but those people are from that area, man. They've probably been knowing where your locations are at for years, right? For years. And you wasn't bothering them, so they never did anything to it. But you're expecting a people that's born and raised in that area to not know something, right? You acting like they don't have some type of things, satellites or drones, or they don't have anything. They just have to be using the drone system from Russia. But China has satellite. So could it be China? Because they have a very close relationship with China. Could be China that's giving them the satellite information. But either which way, you didn't have good counsel before you went to war. You didn't know the people who you were dealing with, and what were their true advantages. You thought, hey, and when like they say, you make an ass out of yourself when you assume, right? Right? It says, therefore, meddle not with him that flattereth with his lips. So, and that's what you ultimately been doing, right? You come up with the negotiations and and so forth, and in the middle of negotiation, you strike. So, I mean, who's who then, right? Because you didn't think someone gave you whatever intel you had. Someone was ultimately being a talebearer to you. So then you thought you would strike. You hit the Ayatollah, but now the Ayatollah's son is in charge, and now you're dealing with a different monster, right? Which you should have known better, right? You like I said, like it says right here about good counsel. Think about in history, even in the streets, when you had the so-called war on drugs and the war against gangs. What happened when you had certain even in the mafia? When you were doing things to take down the mafia or these gangs, regular street gangs, so-called black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native American, even the Italians, a lot of them go back to being Israelites too. I mean, I ain't gonna say all of them, but there's a good majority of Italians that's Israelites, actually. So, but even with that, when you take down a leader, what ends up happening? What erects another leader? But the next leader is way worse than the leader before, and it's a thing that old saying in the world, which is it's kind of crazy because you shouldn't have to deal with the devil at all, but that's what they say. Let's deal with the devil we know, not the devil we don't know, because that's what you should have thought about. Let's deal with the Ayatollah who he is, instead of dealing with the next guy and not knowing what his, you know what I mean? And that's what happened in the streets. When you deal with the mafia, when you took out the mafia bosses, it erected a different boss who are way more radical and way more cruel, all the way down even to the street gangs. You erupted, and now these little dudes, there's no complete order at all. And this is why Judah is going to be a terror in Egypt, man. All right? Yeah, so this is Proverbs chapter 25, verse 8. It says, go not forth hastily to strive, lest thou knowest not what to do in the end. Yeah, and see, and that's where you're at. You're in the midst of this fight, and now you don't know what to do. You thought it was just going to be this easy little thing. Oh yeah, we'll be there a couple of days, going in, and then we'll be out of there. Nah, these are ancient warriors, man. Right? They've been warring for a long time. You know. And these people believe. I mean, even though their thing is not real, they believe in it as if it is. You know what I mean? They truly believe they if they have to die for their belief, they're gonna get 31 virgins. You know, they got a reason to or 50 virgins or whatever. It's 31 or 51 virgins or something like that. 75 virgins or something like that. So they got something to look forward to in death, right? You know. You, on the other hand, and these Americans, and all the other people, your thing is always superficial. You mean, even this war, you expect it to be microwave, instant gratification. Well, there's no such thing as that, man. Right? You thought you were gonna make a microwave war. You just go in and do it, and then everything's good. No, that's not how it works. Right? Now you don't know what not know what to do in the end. Now you don't know what to do. Right? Because what thy neighbor have put thee to shame. See? What happened is you're getting put to shame in this war. Right? Yeah, so this is 2 Kings chapter 18, verse 21 says, Now behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention, thou trusteth upon the staff of this broken reed, even upon Egypt, right? And normally we read this type of thing speaking about Jake, but I'm reading it upon you because you're in your rulership, but your reed, that scepter is broken now. Your rulership is broken, but at the same time you still have it in your hand. So you're like, hey, I'm rule, but you're not the same Egypt. You're not the same Babylon before when you first started this country, and then when you started becoming wealthy and stuff like that, and you started becoming a power in the world, right? You got comfortable. Meanwhile, Russia was still building nukes, right? Meanwhile, they were building a defense system. Meanwhile, they were making it available that they had bunkers for the entire city of Moscow, right? These are people who have a warlike mentality. They're ready. They haven't been in war as much as you have. I mean, when you think about it, as much as China and I believe even Russia, they parade their military up and down the streets. They have not been to war as much as you. So you know who should be the most prepared on the planet? It should be you. You've been in the most wars and have not stopped warring. So how do you go there and run out of ammunition? I don't know. That is bizarre. As many times as you have been to war, right? And not necessarily you, because Trump is he's a dodger, a war dodger. But someone who's been there, you should have had better counsel. No way you go there and not have enough. See what happened with Biden is he went and had too much. So when they pulled him out, it was like, damn, what are we gonna do with all this? Just leave it. So they just left it. At least he had enough sense to have enough. But he had more than enough, which they shouldn't have pulled out until they were able to run through that ammunition or be able to have a way to get it back home first, right? Because what happens is you now your enemy has it, and what they'll do is they'll break it down, see what all the things that works, see if there's any weaknesses within the system, construct it back together, build one just like it without the weaknesses. Now you're getting destroyed by your own weapon without the weaknesses, right? You know what they call it, reverse engineering. Yeah, they reverse engineer it, and hey, now now you're dealing with a whole different kind of monster. But see, but that's where you're at now. Right now is your rulership is being broken. It's being taken from the Most High. So you're at a decline, and you think you still got that same reed. You still think you got that same royal power, and you're leaning upon it. You're trusting upon the staff, upon this broken reed, even upon Egypt, right? The old Egyptian way when you were ruling, when you first brought the pillar from Egypt and put it in Central Park after you killed the so-called black people who own that land, and you did it with no regards, right? Major Central Park, no one had anything to say, right? You did things, and no one spoke out against you. But now you're in a time everybody's speaking out against you because you're on your decline, and on which if a man lean, it will go through his hand. See, and that's what you're about to do. It's about to go through your hand and pierce it, right? And when you're trying to fight and you got a pierced hand, and like you're boxing or you're fighting, your hand doesn't have the strength that it had before, you know, because now it's tender, it's wounded, and that's what you are. You're wounded, right? They have laid a wound under you, right? So is Pharaoh the king, right? Right, and that's you. You're the Pharaoh right now, and so is Pharaoh the king of Egypt unto all that trusted him. Hey, he's wounded, right? You're not going to be any help to. You're not going to be a help to Israel, and you're not a help to yourself. So your rulership is done with, right? Okay, yeah. So this is Isaiah chapter 14 verse 4, that thou shalt take up a parable. See, and yeah, that goes in conjunction with Habakkuk, right? Because everybody's gonna take a parable against you, Esau, Edom, right? A proverb, a parable, and a proverb, right, against you, right? And it says, and that shall take up a proverb against the king of Babylon, and that's you. You're the king of Babylon, but also you're the cruel lord that's here in this spiritual Egypt. So you're the king of of spiritual Babylon, which is America, but America is also spiritually Egypt, and they're going to take up proverbs and a parable against you, right? Against the king of Babylon, and say, how have the oppressor, and that's what you've been doing. You've been oppressing not only the Native Americans, so-called Mexicans, and the Negroes in America, right? You're about to start even oppressing your own counterparts, Edomite counterparts in America. Not to mention you've been going out throughout the entire world oppressing people, right? How have the oppressor ceased? What? The golden city, which is America. You're the golden city. You were that beacon on the hill, so to speak, at one point in time, right? That golden city ceased, and you're coming to an end. That rulership that you had is coming to an end. But you're still walking around with that broken reed, you know, as if you're still this top country. You're still this person, but really it's gonna pierce you through. You're leaning upon uh um old news, basically. You're not the status quo anymore, right? Says Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakal Kodash have broken the staff, right? See, and it proved to see the Lord broke that reed, he broke that staff of the wicked, right? And that's what you are. You're the wicked. The Epstein list proves it, man. And how you throw Jake underneath the bus. You you know, you have the Epstein list, and the first ones that you keep trying to throw out there is Jake, and you may throw one Edomite, but it's it's a laundry list, to say the least, of you top Edomites that's in that Epstein list. Starting with the so-called president of the United Snakes, right? Which proves that you're crooked, man. Right? Who can make a crooked thing straight? You're the wicked, and the scepter, right? Scepter meaning rulership. Dealing with rulership, that staff of the ruler. See, right? Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, man, and that's what you are. Who have smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger. You ruled over all the nations. Yeah, like I said, go back into Habakkuk. It says, you heapeth up unto him all people. He heap up to him all nations. He heap up to him all people. Right? So many vast amounts of people and nations are in America. But not only do you oppress the people in America, especially the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, but you go throughout the earth, being the hammer of the earth. But the hammer of the earth is going to be cut asunder real soon, right? Who smote the people in wrath with the continual stroke. He have ruled the nations in anger, right? Because you're mad that the blessing went to Jacob. You know what I mean? So you're trying to, just go about getting things that don't belong to you. You just take it. But people are tired. People ain't dealing with that no more. Right? Let the weak say I'm strong, what the Most High said. Is persecuted. Now you're being the one that's persecuted. You're the one who people narrowly looking upon. And none hindereth. See, nobody ain't gonna stop it now. Because everybody know who's the cancer of the earth. And it's you. You and them JJs, man. Them ooish people. Ooish people. Right? So the whole earth is at rest, right? So when you get destroyed, which is coming very soon, because it's beautiful that you sparked this war off, right? The war of Armageddon is on its way. So we just need everything to keep on going, kick up. We need you to push the MOTB, which it seems like you're about to do that soon, because you're slowly but surely implementing it by having someone pass some bill saying that a bill not to bring it in, which is very clever, reverse psychology. They got a bill to not let them implant subdermally implant people. We got a bill that, but though no one's talking about it, we're gonna throw in a bill anyway. Yeah. What a way to supplant someone, right? But hey, that means it's coming, so it's a beautiful thing. So, but now you're persecuted, and none hindereth. Nobody saying, "Hey, wait, you can't talk about," except for dumbass. Not even, Yeah, these Jakes, right? Simple-minded Jakes, which may or may not be chocolate-covered Edomites. I don't know. You know, it could. I mean, the jury's out, right? So the whole earth is at rest, right? When you're taken out and it's quiet, they break forth into singing. Hey, in the whole world, even the trees are gonna sing and be happy. Everything because you polluted the earth. You just do deforestation. The GMO plants. You don't give the land rest, right? You don't do a land Sabbath. So a lot of things you don't do. You're the unjust steward, man. At the end of the day, and you're up out of here, right? Yeah, so with all that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners, whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom, to your sisters, your Chwatim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. And the Bible Ball, Kwame Yasharala.